Christian Soriano is one of France's most respected art experts. A certified specialist in art and antiques, he has led Drouot Cotation for modern and contemporary artists and has served as an expert for public sales, customs courts and international institutions. In 1992, the French government appointed him chargé de mission to help structure the entire profession of art and antiquities. His authority and experience have made him a reference across Europe and beyond.
Today we say it's a Carson, just as we say it's a Picasso, a Matisse, a Warhol, a Basquiat, and all the other immortal artists. 58,000 euros for this Charles Carson. Sold.
Last card, 15,000. Vendu, merci. Sold, 27,000, thank you.
$125,000. It's exceptional.
The foremost living Canadian artist since Riopel's passing. 40,000. Sold.
In essence, it is a new way of painting, a form of pictorial writing unique in its sublimity, a realm between two worlds in perpetual motion. Guy Robert was a Canadian art historian, writer, professor, critic, editor and poet, and the founding director-curator of the Montreal Museum of Contemporary Art. Trained in aesthetics at the University of Paris, he became a major figure of Quebec's quiet revolution, teaching widely and helping shape the foundations of modern art education in the province. He published more than 50 books, including major studies on Pellin, Lemieux, Fortin, Borduas, Riopel, and Carson, establishing himself as one of Canada's leading experts in contemporary aesthetics. His work helped shape the cultural landscape through key exhibitions, editorial projects, and influential books. In 1993, he devoted an extensive analysis to painter Charles Carson, offering one of the earliest scholarly descriptions of Carsonism. In that study, Robert wrote, "Carson gives the painting a particular depth, far more fascinating than the most skillful mastery of the most learned systems of perspective, and the discovery of such an oeuvre can only awaken the tremors and fragrances of a long-awaited spring."
More than 20 years ago, the painter Charles Carson showed me a few of his new works and asked for my opinion. This time, what I saw were truly remarkable paintings, a new approach, a personal visual language that deserved real attention. Later, I had the pleasure of viewing a much larger body of his work. I was genuinely surprised, and almost instinctively, I told him he was ready to enter the art market with confidence. In fact, in 1990, I wrote an in-depth analysis of his pictorial work.
Louis Bruns was a major figure in Quebec's artistic world, an art historian, author, lecturer, and photographer whose influence spanned decades. After immigrating from Belgium in the 1950s, he became a central voice in promoting Quebec art through his books, exhibitions, and his work at Radio Canada. He wrote 15 influential art books and produced a feature film, helping shape the province's cultural identity. In 2005, he co-founded the Académie internationale des beaux-arts du Québec, which he led until his passing. In recognition of his lifelong contribution to the arts, he was awarded the Medal of the National Assembly of Quebec in 2009. His legacy remains that of a passionate advocate for artists and for the arts. During the annual galas of the Academy held at the Montreal Museum of Fine Arts, Charles Carson received several of its highest distinctions.
Mesdames, Messieurs, l'artiste de l'année Académien 2009, Charles Carson.
The International Ambassador Award in 2007, Artist of the Year in 2009, and the title of Grand Master in Fine Arts in 2013.
Whether in North America, South America, or Europe, specialists, art historians, experts, analysts, and critics all agree in placing him in the spotlight. We are always filled with pride when we see someone from our homeland succeed and rise, become a true superstar.
Living in the time of an artist whose work will undoubtedly shape our evolution and our humanity is a rare privilege. Charles Carson is a creator of the highest order. His art is inimitable, deeply personal, and utterly spontaneous. There is truly nothing else like it.
I've been working internationally through my music career, and I think one lesson that we should all keep in mind is that art is universal. And I think the strongest artist, and I think that Charles definitely belonged to that group of artists that are able to cater, speak, and connect with human beings around the world. I think the ones that are able to talk to masses, regardless of the price or regardless of the capacity of these people to be able to acquire or not a piece, they still have the occasion to be able to connect with the work if the work is universal.
En el historial de la galería han pasado.
In the history of the Arte Autopista Gallery, the elite of both national and international art have passed through our doors. Over 42 years, all the great artists of the country who are no longer with us have had a presence in our organization. Artists such as Fernando Botero, Oscar Murillo, Doris Salcedo, Antonio Caro, Ana Mendieta, and Irina Betancourt.
Sus obras sé inclusive que en este momento son subastadas en las más importantes.
The works of Charles Carson are currently being auctioned in the most prestigious auction houses in Europe and North America. This is why he is one of the leading artists of the Arte Autopista Gallery, whose major exhibitions are recorded in the gallery's official almanac.
Es uno de los artistas que forman el almanaque importante de exposiciones de la Galería Arte Autopista.
He's a true colorist, an artist who stands out through a technique that's entirely his own. His works show a level of mastery worthy of museums. You can draw parallels with Raphael or other major contemporary movements. I believe he's earned his place among the great movements of painting, which is remarkable because even though there are many well-known artists in Quebec, he's one of the few who's opened markets in Europe, South America, and the United States. I think he could serve as a mentor, an example for Quebec artists of how far exceptional talent and openness can go on the international stage.
The Canadian master Charles Carson has left a profound mark on the history of painting in the early decades of the 21st century. Today, he stands among the greatest painters of our time.
Victor Bennett Forbes began his career as a sports journalist in New York before becoming a respected editor, writer, and cultural commentator. Since 1975, he has shaped Sunstorm and Fine Art magazine into an influential voice in the international art world, publishing major artists, producing books and catalogues, and documenting decades of contemporary creativity.
Well, there's nobody to compare Charles to, okay? And nobody does anything like this. Well, how else are you going to describe it? He's not a Fauve. He's not a Cubist. He's not an abstract expressionist. He's not a Jackson Pollock, whatever that was, a drip painter. I mean, he's not a pop artist. That's why it's got to be Carsonism. And who else has a whole school of art named after that? I'm sure in 100 years there'll be schools of art. So he was a Carsonist.
He is a painter who has earned international recognition through a truly distinctive and unmistakable style. His work, rooted in formal tradition, reaches beyond it. His pictorial language opens onto the realm of the informal, where shapes, colors, and emotion merge in perfect harmony. Through his canvases, he invites us into a mystical and luminous world that unites multiple artistic movements under his own creative vision. It is with sincere admiration that we recognize, through this international distinction, the remarkable quality and mastery of his work, a contribution that secures his place among the great innovators of contemporary art.
Charles Carson laid the foundations of a new aesthetic order, a revolutionary artistic phenomenology that rediscovers the soul of nature. A new chapter in modern art history is being written.
The work of a genius who fully deserves a place among the world's most prestigious museums, alongside the great masters whose contributions have left an indelible mark on the history of art. Champlain Charest is a Quebec radiologist, restaurateur, and renowned collector of art and wine. He became the closest friend and confidant of Jean-Paul Riopelle after meeting him in Paris in 1968, a friendship that shaped both men's lives. Charest played a decisive role in supporting Riopelle's major projects, joining 10 other physicians to help complete and donate the monumental sculpture La Joute. He later gifted Riopelle's sculpture Le Poisson to the Musée d'Art Contemporain de Baie-Saint-Paul. Known for assembling one of the most important wine cellars in Canada and for the legendary Bistrot à Champlain, he remains a central figure in the story of Riopelle and Quebec's cultural heritage.
Riopelle was one of the most important men I ever met because he was completely different from me, and he had things to show me or to teach me that I barely knew. In Carson's work, there's a multicoloured search that you don't find in Riopelle's, which in my opinion gives it its uniqueness. Here it's the density within the transparency of the colours that makes all the difference. It takes extraordinary skill to achieve that result. These are very dense, very powerful paintings that take everything in. They leave the others a little in the shadows. I particularly appreciate his Carsonist works, a way of painting that I believe will go very far. He's a man assured by success. The spirit behind all this is rooted in the material beauty of nature, in those tangible things that are, in the end, the most beautiful we can encounter.
The Musée d'Art Contemporain de Baie-Saint-Paul, long shaped by Riopelle's legacy, has welcomed major contemporary artists. In 2018, the Laurentian Bank Financial Group donated Charles Carson's monumental painting, La Croisée des Chemins, to its permanent collection.
Experiencing Carson's work is to discover figuration through abstraction, a chromatic explosion that brings joy, vitality, and uplifts the soul.
I think Charles Carson's art is wonderful. He's truly a five-star artist.
On m'a dit que peut-être qu'il était mûr pour raconter sa vie parce que c'est quand même un peintre.
They told me that maybe he was finally ready to tell his story. After all, he's an internationally acclaimed painter, a master of rare talent, and it's time for people to truly get to know him. I was entrusted with that task. I've always been fascinated by the creative process, in any form, because I believe it's what shapes us the most on a personal level and fulfills us the most professionally. And Charles had so much to show me in that regard. How one reaches the point of creating a painting that truly reflects their inner sensitivity, that speaks to them. To me, that's a mystery. The mysteries of creation are among the most beautiful mysteries of life.
Je pense que c'est un des plus beaux mystères de la vie. L'œuvre de Carson est très personnelle, très nouvelle, très innovatrice dans un...
Carson's work is deeply personal. It's bold, new, and truly innovative in its kind. He invented Carsonism, an entirely original technique that took him years of research and intense dedication to develop. That's what fascinates art experts and captivates collectors around the world.
C'est ça qui impressionne les experts en art et aussi les collectionneurs.
For Charles Carson, art is not theory. It is a search for light, a refuge, where he transforms inner turbulence into beauty. In 2023, Carson faced one of the greatest trials a human being can endure, the loss of his son. Stefan was an adventurer at heart, a reflection of his father's own restless spirit. From the age of 16, Charles had traveled the world, carried by oceans and vast horizons.
There's no room to grow, and I'm set in my ways.
Stefan grew up inside that rhythm, following his father through Guadeloupe, South America, Europe, Asia, the Philippines. Step by step, wave by wave. Over time, he became more than a son. He became a companion, a right hand, a bright, passionate young man who embraced life with intensity. A devoted reader of Jules Verne, he became a sailor at 28, crossing oceans alone aboard his voilier Joshua, sextant in hand, no engine, guided only by the wind.
There's no room to grow, and I'm set in my ways. You and me both.
From Montreal to Madagascar, from the Bermudas to France, he followed the legendary Transat route, driven by determination and wonder. A programmer-architect turned builder, he crafted his own sailboat, constructed his home in the woods, and dreamed of creating a forest research center for young people. He survived tempests, hurricanes, and the raw force of the sea, but also tasted its deepest beauty. To his father, Stefan embodied courage, ingenuity, and freedom. A son who traveled far, very far, yet always followed the same inner star. Many who followed his journeys online were moved by his audacity, his creativity, and his fierce love of life. He left a trace in countless hearts, inviting others to dream of freedom in a world that grows smaller each day. Now Charles Carson must continue the road without him, a road they hoped to walk side by side. Life decided otherwise, and so he must learn, through the scar of this absence and the pain that tears at him, to paint through his son, carrying forward the dreams, the passion, and the shared love that once filled their days. Yet Carson did what he has always done. He painted. Each canvas became a space of resilience, memory, and breathing room. His work grew more contemplative, more tender, infused with a quieter but deeper light. A sensitive and discreet man, Carson never sought the spotlight. He chose not to appear directly in this documentary, not out of distance, but out of fidelity to who he is. He prefers to let his paintings speak for him. They are his voice. They carry his journeys, his passions, his outrage, his wonder, and his silences. Today, his works travel across the world. His style is studied, taught, and emulated. But for Carson, none of this is the true measure of success. What matters is the light, this light he has been chasing all his life, and that he continues to offer us, canvas after canvas.
Give me a reason to stay. Surround me on. There's no room to grow when I'm set in my ways. Surround me on. You and me both so high.
Deborah Usher is one of Canada's most respected voices in the world of art. As the founder and editor-in-chief of Arabella magazine, the country's premier fine art publication, she has spent decades shaping and elevating the national artistic landscape. Both a seasoned executive and an accomplished visual artist, her career spans publishing, fine art, design, and international consulting. Her knowledge is deep, her eye refined, and her influence widely recognized. From this unique vantage point, Deborah Usher offers one of the most compelling tributes ever written about Charles Carson.
To discover Charles Carson is to rediscover nature, and for most of us, it is love at first sight. His art feels organic and spiritual, often arriving like a revelation once we become more sensitive to its message. With an all-consuming devotion to original painting, Carson forged a unique pictorial language. As viewers, we simply have to follow. His brushstrokes on the canvas are akin to the soaring notes found in the best alto sax solos. History will decide where he stands, but in his own time, Carson offers a vibrant salute to the incomparable mystery and uniqueness of life, all of it reflected in his canvases.
Denise de Candido was a respected figure in Quebec's art world, known for her work as a gallerist and cultural organizer in Montreal. Through her gallery in Old Montreal and her leadership within the Salon des Galeries d'Art du Québec, she helped promote contemporary Canadian artists and strengthen the province's gallery network. She was also recognized for her sharp eye and her advocacy for painter Charles Carson, whose work she described with uncommon conviction.
Charles Carson presents works that are powerful and luminous. His colour is both vibrant and controlled, layered with a rare harmony and subtlety. His paintings draw the eye and awaken real curiosity. He is, without question, a master in his field.
An authentic pictorial language was born on the surface itself, and it gave rise to what we now call Carsonism.
In 2014, Courbevoie, just outside Paris, hosted an exhibition dedicated to Canadian painter Charles Carson. Invited by the city's mayor, Jacques Kosowski, Carson was praised in a public statement.
Like Montreal, New York, Bogota, and Milan, Courbevoie has the opportunity to celebrate the genius of a painter regarded as one of the greatest artists of our time.
Quand on regarde l'histoire de la peinture contemporaine, on voit qu'elle a toujours balancé entre.
When we look at the history of contemporary painting, we see that it has always swung between gesture and idea, between the heart and the mind. In the 1950s, it was the triumph of gesture. There was Rothko, there was Klein, there was de Kooning, artists who painted as they breathed, with urgency, with emotion. Painting at that moment was a kind of explosion of instinct. Then in the 1960s and 70s, everything shifted. We fell into concept, into reflection. It was Warhol, Lichtenstein, pop art, the minimalists. The goal was no longer to move people, but to make them think, to express an idea, a point of view. It was a brilliant era, no doubt, but often a little cold, a little cerebral.
Dans les années 80-90, on a vu un retour du pictural, un retour du sensuel.
In the 1980s and 90s, painting came back, sensual, vibrant, with artists like Basquiat, Hockney, and Schnabel. But over time, even that drifted towards something else. An art more ironic, more cynical, sometimes even completely absurd. Today we see works like a banana taped to a wall or a giant plug sculpture in the middle of Paris. And I understand why so many people have grown cynical about it. And that's where Carson comes in. He rejects nothing. He reconciles. He takes the freedom of abstraction, the power of gesture, and gives back to color, to light, to matter itself, a sense of humanity we had almost lost. We find it beautiful, even if we don't fully understand why. And I would say, that's the mark of true genius. It's like a dish from a great chef that you savor without knowing exactly which spice he used. Or like a great piece of music you love, before you even understand the melody.
I was interested in arts since I was very young because at a very young age I realized that artists are very sensitive people, and usually they tell us, readily how the world is behaving and what will happen long before it happens.
Luigi Liberatore stands as one of Montreal's most influential business leaders, a builder whose entrepreneurial instinct has helped shape entire sectors of Canadian industry. From real estate development to venture investment and philanthropy, his impact reaches far beyond commerce. His legacy is one of vision, leadership, and an unwavering commitment to community.
How do you define a great painter? I mean, it's a very, very complicated subject. I'm motivated more by what the artists I know, the artists that are producing, the artists that are alive, that I can touch, that I can feel, that I can collect, that I can really and truly appreciate. I had the pleasure of meeting Charles Carson, and not only I found his work exceptionally interesting, but again, I met him personally, and I found the person as interesting as his art. He was one of the few artists that I could communicate, for instance, some analogy of what was going on in the world at large, and in business, and in this and that. So he's definitely a very attaching person, and I could probably say today that he has become a friend. I think that what art brings in your life is the richness of life itself. And if you're creative yourself and you can appreciate what others are trying to communicate to you, well, it only makes your life a lot more interesting.
Charles Carson founded Carsonism, a new school of thought. His work unveils elements unseen elsewhere. After all, did anyone paint like Braque, Léger, or Pollock before they appeared?
It is my pleasure to announce that we have appointed you Artistic Advisor for Drouot Cotation, Modern and Contemporary Artists for Canada. Long live you, Charles, and long live Carsonism.
I think that Charles' artwork resonate with me, not only with me, but I think with a whole new generation that is evolving around the art world creatively and businessly now. And that's what's, I think, is pretty fantastic with Charles, is that he could cater to 50, 60, 70-year-old collectors. But at the same time, his work resonates to 25, 30, 35-year-old newcomers to the art business. So new collectors, people that are just at their first encounters with the world of art. And I think it's because of the very colorful and there's something very joyful in Charles' art. He finds a way to have such a great harmony between technique and colors that a little bit like an artist like Pollock is gonna be able to cater to a younger audience. I think Charles has that something the communication in his pieces are hard and strong. So I think when people are 25 or 30 years old, they can understand Charles' work, which is not always the case with the past generation artists. Sometimes it's a harder thing to communicate with younger audience.
It's colorful, it's bright, it's cheerful, it's positive. It's wonderful.
Today, Charles Carson paints in the sacred silence of a former church, a place of worship transformed into his studio and home. Where others once prayed, he now creates.
I've seen the 20-foot paintings, and those you just have to marvel at how he can do that. I can't even describe it. You talk about novel writing. That's a novel on canvas, right? It's saying a lot with no words. So anybody who wants to look at a Carson painting, don't get whatever they want to take out of it for themselves. I mean, some of them are very explicit. Look at the fish swimming in the sea and things like that, nature, the birds. I mean, those things are very touching emotionally, but and then you have your purely abstract stuff, which it's purely abstract.
His style of painting, or rather the movement he created, has become a school of its own. It is a luminous art, rich in resonance, a remarkable form of painting that brings light and clarity. Charles Carson is internationally recognized, especially for his creativity. He has received several awards in Quebec, where he was acknowledged by his peers, and he now holds the title of Grand Master of Fine Arts. The visual arts community in Quebec is remarkably rich, with many artists who stand out in meaningful ways. Some go further, pushing the boundaries, and Charles Carson is one of them. In the end, the reason for Charles Carson's success is the quality of his art.
La mosaïque de Carson est pour moi une forme d'expression quand même extraordinaire de la nature.
The Carson mosaic is, for me, a truly extraordinary form of expressing nature. To me, the mosaic represents all the colours of nature, reflected in different ways by the leaves and the trees through the sunlight. That is why it is a form of painting that feels intimate, because everyone can create their own image within it, see their own visions, and at the same time it is a style that genuinely reflects nature. Carsonism, in my view, is a bit more concrete than the mosaic. He has painted underwater scenes, he has painted animals in the water. When I look at those diagonal strokes across his paintings, I see snowstorms, rainstorms, and so on, and I think they are beautifully represented through the many colours he chooses so well. For me, Carsonism and the mosaic are completely different.
Surtout des tempêtes de neige, des tempêtes de pluie, etc., que je trouve très bien présentées dans le tableau à travers de nombreuses couleurs qui sont très bien choisies. C'est complètement différent, tant qu'à moi, le carsonisme et la mosaïque.
Which one do I prefer? I don't think I have a preference. I buy both. I buy the mosaics for their light, their clarity, their purity, and I buy the Carsonism pieces to see what is happening in the depths of the sea. Charles has done a lot of scuba diving, and it is very enjoyable to rediscover the colours of the ocean floor in his work.
Justement, est un homme qui a fait beaucoup de plongée sous-marine et c'est très agréable de revoir les couleurs des fonds marins.
C'est une peinture qui a une vibration. par sa technique d'application en soi.
It's a technique that carries its own vibration through the very way it's applied. Incredibly luminous. There's this dialogue of colors. He's truly a master of color. His use of color is remarkable because unlike many painters who rely on tone-on-tone variations or soft gradients, Carson's compositions are unique, instantly recognizable.
Une composition picturale qui est propre à lui, c'est-à-dire qu'il a vécu en Amérique du Sud. Donc, il y a toute cette luminosité qui n'est pas la même qu'ici. C'est ça qu'on sent.
Having lived in South America, he absorbed a kind of light that's very different from what we see here. And you can feel that radiance in his work. He creates a light that's entirely his own, with tonalities and color harmonies that are unmistakably Carson. Very few artists work with color at the level of mastery he does.
Because Carson, he'll take you on a voyage. He will, if you let him. He's a kind-hearted man. He's a good-hearted person. He's serious. He's been through a lot, and it's all in the work. It's all there. But Charles has a unique place in the art world because it's Carsonism. He should have his own spot amongst the heroes of creativity. He pours his heart, soul, and love into everything he paints. And we all should do that, whether we're writers, painters, musicians, chefs, bricklayers, whatever we do, if we use the same power that Charles pulls from within, we can do it also.
Charles Carson n'a pas seulement créé un style.
Charles Carson didn't just create a style. He created a language. He's not a painter like the others. He gives soul to color and emotion to matter.
I live in Paris as well, and I live in Brazil. So when I live in Paris, I can see his work that's coming, even well-known exposition there of his work, and even in Italy, which I just came back about last in November, I saw some of his work down there. So I'm very impressed because Canada should be very pleased to have one artist that can represent and the country that way.
I think what struck me the most and the fastest was the experience and the contrast between what sounded like true, solid, ancient art and the most contemporary things that we could see today. I think there's a contrast in Charles' work where we could totally project in any of the, I would say, 60s and 70s artworks. And at the same time, you could feel that his work was done 2 weeks ago. So it's as if it was something that you could feel that he's a grand maître en beaux-arts, truly and definitely when you look at his work. But at the same time, there's something so imminent and contemporary. So I think it's the contrast between those two visions that got me very intrigued by his work.
Well, be ready. Be ready for anything when you see these things.
Quand on découvre une œuvre de Carson, on la ressent avant même de la comprendre. Et ça, c'est définitivement la
You
marque
feel
des
a
grands
Carson
maîtres.
painting, even before you understand it. That's the mark of the true great masters. As we were closing this documentary, a message arrived. It was from one of Stefan's friends. He said Stefan still inspires him every day. He told us he had framed Stefan's boat registration, a document most people would forget in a drawer. But that wasn't the thing he valued most. What mattered most was something small, a worn-down pencil. The pencil Stefan used years ago while building his boat. So ordinary and yet priceless, because it held everything inside it. Commitment, memory, the proof of time and effort. A life leaving its mark.
Let me go on without you. Let me go on without you. Let me go on without you. Let me go on.
And somehow, it felt like the perfect final image. Because art begins the same way, with a simple gesture, a line, a hand that keeps going. And sometimes, without ever meaning to, that gesture changes someone else's life.
But now it's gone. You showed me who you are. We can't ever be what we were, but it wasn't real. You were just playing a part to keep from being alone. And there's no hiding now since you retired the role. Go on without you. Let me go on without you. Let me go on without you. Let me go on. Oh, how the night gives way to the dawn. We were the dew on the morning lawn. Our love was beautiful, but now it's gone. Our love was beautiful, but now it's gone.